Hello there, my friend. It is so good to have you back with me tonight. As you lie here in the quiet dark, imagine stepping into a space where stone seems to float and light tells ancient stories. We are going to wander through the soaring, sacred spaces of Gothic cathedrals, so let us settle in. Nestle your head deeper into the pillow, feel your body soften into the mattress. Take a gentle breath, and let the day dissolve. Shall we begin? Tonight, we will explore a handful of quiet wonders about these stone and light marvels, one peaceful fact at a time. If your eyes grow heavy and you drift off, that is perfectly welcome. And if these evenings bring you calm, know that subscribing is a gentle way to keep me here, ready for you whenever you seek rest. Now, let us step into the first quiet wonder. The invention of the flying buttress was a gentle architectural miracle. Imagine the immense downward and outward pressure of a stone ceiling, a weight that wanted to push the walls apart. Architects responded not with thicker walls, but with these delicate external arms of stone that gracefully caught that pressure and channeled it into the ground. This brilliant solution allowed the main walls to be carved open and filled with vast stretches of colored glass. The interior is transformed, the heavy stone seems to float, the building breathes with light. Stepping inside, you feel a strange liberation, as if the very structure is ascending, leaving the earth behind in a silent, luminous prayer. It was a design born from a desire to lift the spirit, to create a sacred space where the material world fell away. The flying buttress made the impossible visible, a testament to human ingenuity reaching for the divine. In the quiet of the nave, you can almost sense the weight suspended in mid-air, held by these stone arms that stand guard outside. Now picture the rose window, a perfect circle of colored glass set high upon the cathedral's face. As the sun travels across the sky, its light filters through these intricate panes, casting soft, kaleidoscopic patterns onto the ancient stone floor. These windows often tell celestial stories, with biblical scenes and figures rendered in jewel-toned fragments. The glow shifts with the day, a slow, quiet dance of light that moves across the pillars and arches. The colors are deep and saturated, a tapestry of blues, reds, and golds that transform the daylight into a sanctuary of soft hues. Lying in a ray of that light might feel like being touched by something ancient and sacred, a warm, ever-changing mosaic that breathes with the rhythm of the sun. In the evening, as the light wanes, the window darkens to a quiet, glowing jewel. It is a masterpiece not just of art, but of an understanding of how light can soothe the human soul, a reminder that even in stillness, there is transformation, a gentle passage of time marked by beauty rather than clocks. The pointed arch was a quiet but profound departure from the rounded Romanesque style that came before. Its elegant, upward-thrusting shape channels the weight of the stone more directly downward into the supporting columns. This simple geometric shift allowed ceilings to soar to breathtaking new heights, drawing the eye and the spirit upward. Unlike the semicircular arch that spread its load outward, this design concentrated the forces, making the walls less necessary. Standing beneath such an arch, you feel a sense of peaceful ascension, as if the very space is inviting you to rise above the earthly world. The arch feels both sturdy and aspirational, a bridge between the ground and a higher realm. It is a structural grace note that whispers of infinite possibility in the stillness of the cathedral, every arch a reminder of human yearning for the sky, a silent song of elevation. Ribbed vaulting is like a delicate stone skeleton suspended above you, a framework of intersecting arched ribs that supports the ceiling. This design distributes the weight with remarkable efficiency, allowing the roof to be thinner and lighter than a solid stone slab. The ribs create a web of lines that trace the path of forces, turning engineering into a visual poem. Walking through the space, you feel the openness, the airiness, as if the stone is not pressing down but reaching up. It is an architecture of breath and light, where the ceiling seems to drift upward like a quiet thought. These vaults often spring from slender columns, emphasizing the verticality and the sense of liberation. The intersecting curves guide your gaze from one point to the next, creating a gentle rhythm that calms the mind. In the dim light, the ribs cast subtle shadows that play across the surfaces, adding depth and texture to the serene atmosphere. Gargoyles and grotesques serve a quiet, dual purpose on the Gothic cathedral. As decorative guardians, they peer from the edges of the roof, their stone faces frozen in silent watchfulness. More practically, Many function as rain spouts, channeling water away from the soft limestone to protect the building from erosion. They perch there through the night, their forms silhouetted against the sky, watching over the silent streets below. The sound of water trickling through their mouths during a rainstorm adds a soothing, rhythmic pulse to the quiet churchyard. Each creature is unique, a blend of the real and the mythical, carved with a mix of seriousness and whimsy. They are the silent sentinels of the cathedral, a bridge between the sacred interior and the secular world outside, reminders of protection, both physical and spiritual, standing guard while we sleep, their stone eyes fixed on the horizon. And so we turn our gaze within these sacred halls, where the legendary stained glass of Chartres Cathedral washes over the interior in a color known as Chartres blue. This deep, mesmerizing hue was crafted using cobalt and silver, a secret recipe that transforms sunlight into something transcendent. As the rays pass through, they bathe the stone pillars in a tranquil, immersive atmosphere. You might imagine standing there, surrounded by a soft oceanic light that gently sways and shimmers. It feels less like being inside a building and more like floating in a calm, celestial sea. This blue does not merely decorate the space, it envelops you, pulling your mind into a quiet, dreamlike state. Many of these great cathedrals also hold a labyrinth, a winding path of stone tiles set into the floor for quiet meditation. Visitors follow this sinuous journey with slow and deliberate steps, a ritual meant not as a puzzle, but as a symbolic pilgrimage. It represents the soul's winding path toward understanding, each turn leading the mind away from daily concerns and into a deep, rhythmic reflection. You can almost hear the soft shuffle of feet on cool stone, a gentle meter that measures out a timeless inner voyage. It is a physical prayer, guiding you to a peaceful center where thoughts dissolve like mist. The very proportions of these cathedrals were guided by the golden ratio and principles of sacred geometry, every archway and vault designed according to mathematical harmonies found in nature. This hidden order, echoing the spiral of a shell or the branching of trees, creates a profound sense of divine harmony and a feeling that everything is precisely where it should be. As you gaze upon the soaring ceilings, your mind perceives this balance subconsciously, evoking a timeless peace. It is as if the stone itself is a visual lullaby composed of pure, silent logic. The structure whispers of a universal order, cradling you in a gentle, unspoken certainty. These magnificent structures are also a testament to patience, for some took centuries to complete, with generation after generation of stonemasons carving delicate details into unyielding rock. You can picture a father teaching his son the precise curve of a finial, a craft passed down through time like a quiet inheritance. This slow, patient process imprints the stone with an ancient, enduring stillness, each chisel mark a silent heartbeat across the ages. The walls themselves seem to breathe with the accumulated quiet of ages, offering a deep sense of permanence in a fleeting world, a foundation of unwavering calm. The architecture of a Gothic cathedral was also engineered for a very specific acoustic experience, where lofty vaults and stone surfaces carry sound in long, lingering echoes. This stretches a note far beyond its source, creating a soft, enveloping blanket of audio that wraps around you like a warm mist. Imagine a single whispered prayer near the altar drifting slowly through the vast, cool air of the nave, its gentle susurration reaching you minutes later as a tender secret. This sonic landscape encourages your own thoughts to unspool and dissolve, merging with the sacred silence until only a profound stillness remains. Imagine for a moment the quiet hush of a medieval street, and there before you rises a great cathedral, its stone walls seeming to breathe with centuries of whispered prayer. The first thing you might notice is how the flying buttress graces the exterior, a structural marvel that allows the massive stone walls to lean softly away from the building. These elegant stone ribs arch outward like the outstretched arms of a guardian, shifting the heavy pressure of the roof down into the earth. By doing so, the architects could replace thick, dark stone with expansive, floating walls of glass, transforming the interior into a sea of gentle light. It feels as if the very weight of the building is suspended in a delicate dance with gravity. Stepping inside, your vision is drawn upward to the rose windows, those intricate circular patterns of stone and glass that bloom like flowers in the nave. In a place like Chartres, The sunlight filters through these petals into a gentle kaleidoscope of deep reds and calming blues. Each pane of stained glass acts as a prism, scattering the daylight into a quiet symphony of color that washes over the stone floor. These windows do not merely let in light, they transmute it into a living tapestry that moves with the day's gentle arc. The air feels thick with a quiet reverence, each hue a soft whisper from another time. Standing there, you might feel enveloped in a peaceful, almost otherworldly glow, as if the light itself is telling a story without words. Your gaze then rises higher, following the pointed arch, a signature of the Gothic style that allows the ceilings to drift much higher toward the heavens. Unlike the rounded arches of earlier eras, this design lifts the roof skyward with a smooth, unbroken ascent. The pointed arch seems to reach upward with a serene ambition, drawing the eye and the spirit along its graceful lines. It reduces the lateral thrust on the walls, creating a peaceful sense of verticality and openness that makes the space feel both vast and intimate. Within this lofty expanse, the soul feels a quiet liberation, unburdened by the heavy stone of earlier constructions. This arching ascent invites a slow, natural inhalation, as if the building itself is breathing. Looking down, you might discover a labyrinth woven into the stone floor, a winding path that visitors follow in a slow, meditative drift. At Amiens, the cool stone curves in a gentle spiral, designed as a symbolic journey for the soul. Walking its rhythm is like tracing a quiet prayer with your feet, each step a soft punctuation in a timeless ritual. The simple act of pacing through these turns becomes a metaphor for life's winding ways, each twist a gentle reminder to breathe and let go. In the cathedral's dim light, the labyrinth glows faintly, a silent map for inner peace. It invites a quiet, rhythmic pace that settles the mind, wrapping you in a calm embrace. And high above, outside on the eaves, the gargoyles crouch in their silent watch. They serve a quiet, practical purpose as decorative water sprouts, gently guiding rainwater away from the delicate stone masonry during soft storms. Their carved forms, often whimsical or solemn, act as silent guardians perched high above the sleeping city below. During a soft rain, you might hear the faint trickle of water from their mouths, a soothing lullaby for the quiet streets beneath. These stone sentinels, weathered by time, hold stories in their silent gaze, watching over the city's dreams. In the misty twilight, they seem almost alive, keeping their ancient vigil through the gentle drift of centuries. Imagine the ceiling above you as a delicate web of stone arches, each rib curving gently like the veins on the underside of a leaf. This is the rib vault, a medieval innovation that allowed architects to craft ceilings that seemed to hover in the air, weightless and serene. The stone supports spread the load so gracefully that the whole structure feels organic, as if grown from the earth itself. As you lie beneath it, you might sense the space opening up, lifting your spirit just as it lifts the roof high above. It is a geometry of quiet grace, where the heavy mass of stone is transformed into a whisper of support. Picture the stained glass windows, their colors born from the alchemy of medieval glassmakers who mixed metallic oxides into molten glass. Cobalt oxide yielded a deep, nocturnal blue that rivals the night sky, while gold produced ruby reds and copper turned to emerald greens. In the early morning, when sunlight streams through these panels, it spills onto the stone floors in a kaleidoscope of shifting patterns, warming the ancient limestone with a gentle, ever-changing glow. It is as if the light itself is painting a new masterpiece each day, a quiet spectacle for the solitary visitor, drawing the eye upward toward the unseen source. Gothic cathedrals are monuments to patience, often constructed over lifetimes and beyond. Imagine a master mason starting a wall that his grandson would finish, each stone laid with a devotion that transcended a single human span. Some cathedrals took over 6 centuries to complete, meaning that generations of artisans poured their lives into carving ornate capitals or lifting vaults into place. This unhurried process was not about efficiency but about a deep, timeless commitment to beauty, a belief that such spaces were worth every chisel stroke and every year of waiting. In that slow unfolding, we find a lesson in letting time shape something remarkable. Look up toward the triforium, a narrow, shadowed gallery that runs above the great nave arches. It is a space not meant for crowds but for the quiet play of light and shadow, adding a layer of depth that softens the vast interior. This arcade acts as a gentle mediator, a peaceful transition from the earthly stone floor where you stand to the celestial brightness of the clerestory windows above. In the dimness of that band, your eyes can rest before rising to the heights, finding a moment of calm between the ground and the heavens. It is a subtle bridge, linking the tangible world to the realm of radiant light. Step into a Gothic cathedral, and you are enveloped by a sanctuary of the senses. The air carries the faint, sweet scent of incense that has permeated the walls over centuries, while the cool touch of ancient limestone anchors you to the present moment. The immense vertical spaces seem to swallow sound, so that even the softest footsteps are hushed into an echoing silence. This stillness wraps around you like a warm blanket, a comforting cocoon of quiet that invites you to simply be still and breathe in the history around you. It reminds us that these halls were built not just for grand ceremonies but for the solitary soul seeking peace. If you are still awake, feeling the hush of those ancient walls, that is okay. You do not need to be asleep yet. There is more beauty to share, like morning light through stained glass. A light can guide other night owls to this stillness. Imagine standing in a nave where the air is filled with a soft-colored haze. In the quiet heart of a Gothic cathedral, there was a belief called lux nova, the new light. It said that sunlight was not just illumination, but a gentle touch of the divine itself. Heavy stone walls were replaced with wide sheets of stained glass, so the sun could pour through like a luminous river. The interior became a living painting where colors, soft as a whisper, drifted across the cool stone floors. In these spaces, the light moves slowly, shifting from amber to sapphire as the day passes outside, a calm and sacred dance. Each beam of light carries a piece of the heavens, transforming the stone around you into a canvas of gentle hues. As you walk around the exterior, you will notice the flying buttresses, elegant stone arms that reach out from the walls like open hands, offering support with a gentle touch. They cradle the high vaults of the ceiling, distributing the immense weight deep into the earth, never forcing or pressing too hard. This brilliant engineering meant the walls no longer had to be thick and heavy. Instead, they became thin and delicate, almost transparent, allowing for vast windows filled with colored light. The entire cathedral seems to float, a massive stone body lifted from the ground, hovering in a state of serene weightlessness. There is a feeling of air and grace, as if the structure breathes and sighs with the passing breeze. Stepping inside, above your head, the ceiling is made of ribbed vaults, a graceful intersection of stone arches that stretch across like a delicate web. Each arch meets in a harmonious point, carrying the weight with a light efficiency, freeing the space to reach toward the heavens. They distribute the weight more efficiently than older, heavier styles, so the roof can soar higher. These flowing lines guide your eye upward in a peaceful, steady rhythm, like the gentle branches of a stone forest. You feel yourself being drawn upward, your gaze resting on each arch as it ascends. There is a quiet poetry in these ribs of stone, a gentle reminder of nature's own patterns translated into sacred space. Gazing upward, you will see the rose window, an intricate circular masterpiece high in the wall. This window is like a divine eye looking out and in, capturing the sun's rays and breaking them into 1,000 gentle fragments. It is woven with complex geometric patterns, deep cobalt blues and rich ruby reds set into stone. When the afternoon sun passes through these petals of glass, it spills a kaleidoscope of soft, shimmering colors into the quiet nave. The light falls gently on the stone floor, painting it with shifting mosaics of emerald, gold, and violet. You can sit and watch these colors move with the day, a slow and silent liturgy of light. And all of this, the entire design, was meant to evoke a sense of verticality, drawing the spirit upward toward the infinite. This is achieved through the pointed arch, a form that channels the weight of the stone more vertically, allowing for walls to stretch to incredible heights. As you stand in this vast space, the arches rise around you like prayers made solid, their peaks lost in shadowy heights. Everything in the design invites you to lift your eyes, to pause, and to feel a profound stillness. There is an overwhelming sense of awe here, a quiet hum in the air that speaks of something beyond the stone and glass. Imagine the quiet rhythm of chisels on stone echoing softly through the ages. A single cathedral was not built in a lifetime but over many centuries, with hands that grew old and were replaced by younger ones, all shaping the same walls. They worked the limestone and sandstone with a gentle, unhurried touch, each curve a testament to the patience of hundreds of years. This slow construction feels like a meditation where time itself seems to stand still. Every flourish and detail reflects a deep collective calm passed down through generations. Look up now at the gargoyles perched high on the cathedral walls. They might seem like fanciful creatures, but they have a gentle and practical purpose. As rainwater falls, these stone figures guide it away from the walls, protecting the sacred foundations below. They are like silent guardians watching over the peaceful sanctuary with a whimsical and steadfast grace. Their presence is a quiet reassurance, blending wonder with duty in the cool stone shadows. In the cool, hushed interior, you can find labyrinths set into the stone floors, such as the one in Chartres Cathedral. These winding paths offer a space for quiet walking meditation. As you drift slowly along the curves, you mirror a spiritual journey moving inward toward a center of calm. Step by gentle step, the pattern guides you away from the busy world outside. It is a soft invitation to explore the inner landscape of your own thoughts. The acoustics of these vast stone halls are a gentle marvel of design. They carry sound in long, flowing echoes so that when Gregorian chants rise, they swell softly through the air. This creates a warm, enveloping blanket of sound that lingers in the cool stillness around you. Each note seems to hang suspended like a tender breath in the shadowy nave. It wraps you in a comforting embrace made of music and stone. Beyond the main hall, you can find the cloisters' covered walkways that surround a quiet central garden. These spaces were crafted for rhythmic walking and silent reflection. Here, the gentle sound of trickling water and rustling leaves blends with the gray stone. It creates a harmonious sanctuary where the world melts softly away. In this peaceful rhythm, your mind can wander freely, held in a timeless pocket of serene rest. Imagine a gentle embrace, held out by stone arms that reach from the walls. These flying buttresses quietly carry the weight of the roof, letting the walls open up like thin, airy shells. As the heavy stone drifts outward to sturdy external piers, vast spaces open within, ready to be filled with light. Into these glowing openings, builders placed legendary stained glass, turning each cathedral into a soft, luminous haven. The light falls through colors like a gentle rain, and the walls seem almost to breathe with air and radiance. This quiet innovation transforms stone into a vessel for illumination, a place where the boundary between inside and outside softly dissolves. And as that light breathes through the walls, it finds a special home. High above the entrance, a grand circle of stone and colored glass quietly blooms. It is called the rose window, and it resembles a vast, intricate flower carved in light. The design gently filters sunlight into a soft, kaleidoscopic glow that spills across the stone floors. As the day passes, the colors shift and change, painting the interior with a slow, dreamy rhythm. This transforms the vast space into a peaceful sanctuary, where every corner holds a gentle wash of blue, red, and gold. The light does not just fall, it seems to breathe through the colored glass, creating a sacred, floating atmosphere. It invites you to simply sit and watch the colors drift, a quiet meditation for the eyes. Now look up from that drifting light, and see the ceiling that seems to float above you. The pointed arch is the secret, a gentle peak that lifts the stone higher than ever before. Unlike the rounded arches of old, this design draws your gaze upward, a quiet invitation to rise. The weight of the stone feels lost, replaced by a sense of weightless ascension toward the quiet heavens. These arches line the nave like a succession of gentle waves, each one pulling the eye closer to the sky. The ceiling no longer presses down, it soars, creating a canopy that feels almost like a soft breath above the congregation. This lightness transforms the building into a place of quiet hope, where your spirit is lifted without effort. And if you lower your gaze from that soaring canopy, you might discover a different journey. On the floor below, a winding path is set into the stone, a labyrinth that invites a slow, meditative walk. At Chartres, and in many cathedrals, this pattern unfolds like a quiet river of stone. Visitors would drift along its curving lines, a symbolic pilgrimage without a journey. Each step was a soft prayer, a way to quiet the mind and find inner peace. The path twists and turns, but always leads gently toward the center, a point of calm in the vast space. It is a dance of footsteps and silence, carrying you deeper into a peaceful state. The labyrinth does not hurry you, it asks only that you breathe and move with its rhythm. In this slow drift, the noisy world outside fades away, replaced by a gentle, inward quiet. And finally, lift your eyes one last time to the shelter above you. Above your head, a delicate web of stone stretches across the ceiling, like a gentle skeleton made of crossing arches. This is the ribbed vaulting, a design that supports the heavy roof with slender, sweeping lines. The stone feels light, almost lace-like, as if the weight has been dissolved into an elegant pattern. The vaults arch over the nave, creating a sense of space that drifts softly above the congregation. It is a roof transformed into a soft canopy, a quiet shelter that seems to float rather than bear down. The ribs dance across the ceiling, meeting in gentle points that remind you of stars in a stone sky. This is not heavy architecture, it is a whispered lullaby in stone, letting the mind wander upward, touching a state of weightless peace. Imagine the high, misty corners of a great cathedral where the stone meets the sky. There, gargoyles and grotesques rest like silent sentinels from another time. They serve a gentle dual purpose. They are peaceful guardians, carving a protective presence into the air. And when the rain comes, their open mouths become practical spouts, channeling water away to save the delicate stone from erosion. Their whimsical forms, half beast, half dream, add a soft layer of curious mystery to those lofty, shadowed niches. It feels as if they are holding ancient secrets in their stony gaze. These strange companions blend function with fantasy, inviting the mind to wander without ever breaking the spell of calm. Beneath the surface of these grand designs, a hidden language of proportion whispers. The golden ratio and sacred geometry were often woven into the very blueprints. This was not just math, but a pursuit of divine harmony. These perfect proportions ensure that every pillar and every arch feels deeply balanced. They wrap the visitor in a cocoon of architectural symmetry, so that standing inside, you might feel held by something larger than yourself. The space breathes with a quiet, orderly grace. It is a silent music, a visual rhythm that guides the soul towards stillness. The symmetry is not rigid but alive, pulsing gently through the ancient stone. In the hands of medieval glaziers, sand and fire became a portal to the divine. They mixed metallic oxides into the molten glass, coaxing out deep, resonant blues and rich rubies that hold the light. The glaziers worked with patient precision, knowing their art would paint the air with liquid color for centuries to come. When the morning sun first filters through these ancient minerals, it creates a warm, shimmering atmosphere. The colored light spills across the cold stone floor like a blessing made visible. In that moment, the world feels timeless and still, suspended in a single, radiant breath. This gentle dance of light and hue transforms the cathedral into a living canvas of peace. The vast naves of these cathedrals were not just built for the eye, but for the ear. Their soaring heights were designed to carry sound in a slow, echoing wave. This acoustic warmth allowed Gregorian chants to float through the air, like leaves on a gentle breeze. The soft, lingering melody fills the stone void, turning the empty space into a vessel of living song. Each note hangs in the stillness, a quiet echo that seems to touch the very soul. For a moment, as the chant rises and falls, the boundary between earth and heaven blurs. The music becomes a prayer without words, wrapping the listener in a blanket of serene sound. Many of these Gothic wonders rose not in years but over centuries. Each generation of craftsmen added their own quiet details to the stone, carving tiny leaves and sleeping figures into hidden corners. These subtle flourishes speak of a slow and patient devotion, a love for beauty and light that never rushed. A stonemason might spend a lifetime perfecting a single arch, his work a silent prayer for those who would come after. It is a reminder that true creation often moves like the gentle unfolding of a dream, across time, with tender hands. In every curve and corner you can sense the human presence, the careful breath of those long-gone artists. Their legacy is not just in the grand towers, but in these small, intimate gestures of care, left for the quiet observer to discover. Imagine stepping into a grand cathedral, where the air is cool and still, and every stone tells a story of timeless calm. As you drift through this sacred space, your eyes are drawn upward, and the world outside fades away, leaving only a gentle, dreamy quiet. This is a place built to cradle the soul, where every detail whispers of peace and wonder. It is an invitation to breathe deeply, to let your worries slip away like leaves on a slow stream. In the serene hush, you might notice a gentle magic called lux nova, the new light. It is the way sunlight filters through the ancient stained glass, becoming a breath of color that washes over the stone walls. This soft, radiant glow was crafted to feel like a touch of the divine, a soothing balm for weary hearts. As you wander through the nave, the light creates a celestial atmosphere, wrapping you in a peaceful embrace that quiets the mind. Each colored beam seems to sway with a slow, rhythmic grace, inviting you to pause and simply be, lost in a moment of tranquil beauty. And as your gaze lifts, you see the flying buttresses, those graceful stone arches that float like frozen waves against the sky. They are a marvel of engineering, shifting the roof's weight outward so the walls can stand tall and slender. This clever design lets in vast amounts of calming, natural light, allowing the interior to feel open and airy. The buttresses themselves seem to dance, a silent ballet of support that holds the cathedral in a gentle, steady embrace, never disturbing the peace within. Your eyes continue their slow, dreamy ascent, following the pointed arches that define the Gothic style. These arches reach toward the heavens, directing weight with such efficiency that the ceiling seems to lift off into space. This architectural shift creates a profound sense of weightlessness, guiding your gaze upward in a rhythmic, meditative climb. Each pointed curve is like a quiet exhale, leading your thoughts away from the floor and into a realm of light and silence. Above you, the ribbed vaulting unfolds like a delicate stone skeleton, a network of intersecting arches that supports the ceiling with soft, airy grace. This design allows the heavy stone to feel light and buoyant, as if it were drifting softly above the quiet congregation. The ribs weave together in a pattern that speaks of order and harmony, making the vast cathedral feel intimate and sheltering. It is a canopy of safety, holding the space in a steady, unbroken calm. Outside, the gargoyles keep their silent watch, carved guardians perched on the rooftops. They serve a dual purpose, both spiritual protectors and practical rainspouts, shielding the stone from water's slow erosion. During the soft, steady summer rains, you can hear the water gently channeled away, a whispering stream that adds to the cathedral's hushed song. These stone figures are patient and still, their presence a quiet comfort through the gentle weather, never breaking the dreamy spell of this sacred place. As you come to the end of your wandering, the cathedral rests around you, a symphony of light, stone, and shadow. Each element, from the luminous windows to the steady buttresses, blends into a single, soothing experience. And when you finally step out, the memory lingers like a soft, warm light, a quiet sanctuary you can carry within your heart. Imagine the rose window, a masterpiece of perfect symmetry. It is a circular bloom of stone and light, its intricate tracery forming delicate patterns. Behind these stone ribs, vibrant glass glows in deep blues, rich reds, and soft golds. As the sun moves across the sky, its rays filter through the colored panes. They cast a slow, shifting kaleidoscope across the cool stone floors. The light paints warm hues that travel gently from one pillar to the next. This quiet movement creates a sense of time slowing down, of warmth embracing the ancient space. It is a silent symphony of color, a dream in glass and stone. Many cathedrals were not built in a hurry. They rose slowly over centuries. Stones were laid by generations of craftsmen, each working in a quiet, meditative rhythm. Father to son, master to apprentice, the knowledge and care were passed along. With patient hands, they carved every leaf, every flower into the cool stone. This enduring process reflects a timeless commitment to beauty. Each detail was shaped with immense care, a silent prayer in stone. The walls themselves hold the essence of this slow devotion, a steady, unwavering love for the sacred art. It is a reminder that some beauties take a long, calm time to unfold. On the floor of some cathedrals, like Chartres, you will find a labyrinth. It is not a maze, but a single winding path set into the stone. This pathway was made for quiet, meditative walking. Pilgrims would slowly follow its curving lines, step by gentle step. They drifted inward, finding a deep sense of inner peace and stillness. The world outside would soften, and all that remained was the rhythm of their feet and the calm of the journey toward the center. This act of walking became a prayer, a moving meditation. It offers a moment of serene escape, a path to tranquility carved in the floor for weary souls. Gothic cathedrals often used limestone and sandstone, stones from the earth that carry a soft, gentle warmth. These materials feel kind to the touch, with a subtle, grainy texture. They can be carved into intricate, lace-like patterns, forming delicate spires and tracery. Over time, these porous stones have absorbed the hushed whispers of countless visitors. They hold a quiet history within their very surfaces, each pore a tiny keeper of past prayers. The stone walls seem to breathe with the murmurs of centuries. They stand as silent witnesses, cradling a peaceful memory of every soul that has passed beneath their arches. It is a soft, enduring embrace. The nave of a Gothic cathedral stretches vast and open, its high ceilings reaching toward the heavens. These great spaces were designed to create a warm, natural acoustic. When choral music rises, it floats and lingers in the air like a gentle breath. The sound wraps around you, forming a cocoon of soft echoes. Each note seems to hang for a moment, before blending with the next. This gentle resonance encourages deep relaxation and quiet reflection. It cradles the listener in a blanket of harmonious sound. The music becomes a part of the very atmosphere, a soothing presence that invites you to rest, to breathe, and to simply be. Still drifting with me, that is lovely. Just let the soft stone and gentle light take the weight from your thoughts. I will keep talking, you just rest. In the hushed stillness of a great cathedral, the mind drifts upward. The walls seem to dissolve and light becomes a living thing. This is the dream of Gothic architecture, a world of stone and glass that feels impossibly light. Tonight we wander through these sacred spaces, discovering the quiet marvels that let them float so gently toward the sky. Long ago, builders stumbled upon a secret. The flying buttress, a graceful stone arm, reached out to catch the weight of the roof. By shifting that heavy burden outward, they freed the walls from their age-old duty. Suddenly, stone could soar, thinning into mere whispers of support. In their place, shimmering panes of glass flooded the interior with a soft, colored rain. The cathedral breathed, and the spirit felt unbound. And those windows, they were not simply openings. They became canvases for a divine light, a new light that theologians called lux nova. As sunlight filtered through the jewel-toned glass, it transformed into a gentle, multicolored glow. This ethereal illumination was meant to lift the soul from the earthly floor. It invited quiet contemplation, drawing the mind away from the world's noise and into a peaceful inner sanctuary. Here, you could simply sit, wrapped in a cocoon of sapphire and ruby light. Look up now, and you will see the pointed arch reaching skyward. Unlike the heavy, rounded arches of the past, this gentle peak seemed to stretch toward the heavens without effort. It allowed the ceiling to rise to dizzying heights, yet the space never felt crushing. Instead, your eye is drawn up along the slender lines, drifting slowly, as if in a quiet ascent. The stone almost seems to breathe, light as a thought. In this upward pull, there is a hint of weightlessness, a promise of something beyond. Supporting these soaring canopies is a network of stone, delicate as a spider's web. This ribbed vaulting spreads the immense weight across slender columns like the veins of a leaf. The intersecting arcs of stone form a rhythmic pattern overhead, a calming repetition that quiets the mind. It echoes the natural curves of a forest canopy, where branches interlace high above the forest floor. Lying here, you might imagine the stone as a petrified grove, sheltering you in its hushed embrace. And at the heart of many of these cathedrals, a great rose blooms in stone and glass. The rose window is a circular masterpiece of geometry and color, a silent meditation on perfection. It symbolizes the unfolding of a flower, or perhaps the gentle unfurling of the divine. As the day passes, it bathes the long nave in a soft, rotating palette of deep blues and warm reds. It becomes a quiet focal point, a radiant eye that invites you to simply rest and let the colors wash over you. There, in the dappled silence, the world outside fades to a distant murmur. These marvels of old, born from stone and light, were designed to cradle the spirit. They remind us that even the heaviest things can be made to feel light, and that silence itself can be illuminated. As you drift now, let that cathedral glow linger, a warm and peaceful presence. Sleep well. High above the cobblestone streets, where the air is thin and quiet, the gargoyles and grotesques perch on the rooftops. They are carved from the same stone as the walls, their forms frozen in silent watchfulness. But these figures are more than decoration. They serve a gentle practical purpose by guiding rainwater away from the cathedral through their carved spouts. The water flows slowly, almost like a sigh, protecting the stone from the wear of countless storms. While they may appear curious to our eyes, their presence adds a soft, whimsical detail to the gray silhouettes of the spires, a subtle reminder of the care taken in every hidden corner of these sacred places. Stepping inside, on the cool stone floor, lies the labyrinth, a winding circular path carved into the stone. It is not a maze to be solved, but a path for meditative walking, a slow journey inward. Pilgrims would drift along the spiral, their steps rhythmic and unhurried, the air around them heavy with silence. Only the soft sound of their feet on the ancient stone broke the quiet, a gentle rhythm like a heartbeat in the vast space. With each turn, the noise of the world would fade, replaced by a deep inner stillness, guiding them to a quiet center within themselves. It is a pathway not for the body, but for the soul, leading to a moment of pure calm. This sense of timelessness is echoed in the very construction of these cathedrals, for they were built over centuries, spanning generations. Stone carvers devoted their entire lives to perfecting a single section of the facade, their hands learning every curve and edge of the stone. This slow, patient pace was a reflection of a deep commitment to beauty and enduring craftsmanship. Fathers taught sons, and the work continued, a quiet legacy of devotion. Countless hands touched these walls, shaping them year after year, their lives woven into the very fabric of the building, a silent hymn to perseverance and art. The slow passing of time became part of the design, a patience you can still feel settled into the stone, a gentle reminder that great things grow in stillness. The materials themselves, limestone and sandstone, give the structures a warm organic quality. When the setting sun casts its golden light, these stones seem to absorb it, glowing with a gentle radiance. This natural warmth roots the buildings to the earth, making them feel as if they have grown from the ground itself. The limestone holds the memory of ancient oceans, the sandstone grains of time-worn dunes, each block a story of the earth. Meanwhile, their spires reach softly into the clouds, bridging the earthly and the divine. In the fading light, the whole cathedral seems to breathe, a living thing standing against the sky, whispering of ancient seas and forgotten forests. And within these walls, the vast open interiors were designed to create a natural acoustic resonance. A single whispered note can float and linger in the air, drifting like a feather on a gentle breeze. This soft echo transforms the space into a sanctuary of sound, enveloping you in a warm atmospheric embrace. The air itself feels alive, humming with a quiet music that seems to come from the stones themselves. Close your eyes, and you might feel those echoes wrapping around you like a soft blanket, carried on the breath of centuries. Every whisper becomes a prayer, every footfall a part of the eternal symphony that plays beneath the vaulted ceilings, lulling you into a state of deep and tranquil peace. The rose windows of great cathedrals are like quiet celestial prisms, sifting the soft sunlight into streams of rich ruby reds and deep sapphire blues. These circular masterpieces, crafted with careful intention, were designed to reflect the divine order of the universe itself. When the light passes through, it casts a glowing, colorful wash over the cold stone floors, transforming the interior into a living canvas of gentle hues. In places like Chartres, this light feels less like illumination and more like a whispered prayer, inviting a calm stillness to settle upon the soul. As you stand under that gentle cascade of color, the world outside fades away, and you are wrapped in a quiet spectrum of timeless beauty. Flying buttresses are like graceful stone arms, leaning gently against the cathedral walls to carry away the immense weight of the ceiling. By channeling this heavy pressure outward and down, they allowed the builders to open up the walls for vast sheets of shimmering glass. Imagine the interior, no longer bound by thick, shadowy stone, but light and airy, like a space made of morning light. These quiet supports let the sacred space breathe, filling it with a soft, diffuse glow that wraps around you like a calm embrace. These silent supporters do their work without fuss, standing firm like patient companions to the cathedral, reminding us that true strength often lies in gentle support, not in force. The ribbed vault is a delicate network of stone, like intersecting branches that reach upward toward the sky. This innovation allowed the ceilings to lift higher than ever before, creating a canopy that seems to float above you. The stone feels weightless and eternal, as if the room itself is breathing with a quiet sigh. In this elevated space, the air feels thinner and more pure, inviting a slow, upward drift of the spirit toward a place of quiet contemplation. It is a reminder that even the heaviest things can be made to feel light, guiding your eyes and your thoughts toward the heavens. It invites the mind to follow these stone tendrils, tracing a quiet path of thought upward. In some cathedrals, like the one at Amiens, there is a labyrinth etched into the stone floor. Visitors would slowly walk its winding path, a long, meditative spiral that invited reflection, not confusion. It was not a puzzle to solve, but a peaceful journey for the soul, each step a quiet beat in a slow, rhythmic drift toward the center. This center was a place of peace, a still point where the world falls away. Walking this path was like tracing your own inner quiet, a gentle unfolding toward calm. With each gentle curve, there is a sense of letting go, a slow release of the day's concerns, until all that remains is the simple rhythm of your own footsteps. Gargoyles, with their quiet, steadfast presence, serve a simple purpose as decorative rainspouts. They gently guide the rainwater away from the soft limestone walls, protecting the cathedral from erosion and the wearing effects of time. Though they may look mysterious, their true role is a gentle and protective one. They stand as silent guardians, ensuring that the sacred space remains untouched by the elements, a calm shelter from the weather's slow, patient work. In this way, they quietly contribute to the lasting peace of the cathedral, a subtle note in the grand harmony. Through rain and storm, they stand their ground, a gentle buffer between the sacred and the elements, reminding us that even the smallest details can hold a quiet strength. Let your mind rest on the transformation of stone, from the heavy Romanesque roundness to the soaring Gothic arch. This new pointed design was not merely a change in shape, but a profound shift in feeling. Where once the building pressed its weight into the ground, now it reaches softly upward, as if every stone is taking a quiet breath. Your eye is gently guided skyward, following the lines that lift the entire structure toward the light. It is an architecture of aspiration, a gentle invitation to leave the earthly behind for a moment. Beneath this beauty lies a hidden order, a language of sacred geometry whispered by the master masons. They used the golden ratio and precise proportions, not for cold logic, but to craft a cradle of harmony. Every column and window was placed with care to evoke a profound stillness. As you stand within these walls, you are held in a cocoon of mathematical perfection, a balance that feels as natural as the universe itself. It is a quiet reminder that in this space, everything is exactly where it should be. And time flows through these stones like a slow, patient river. Cathedrals are not built in a day, but over centuries, and their walls breathe the history of generations. A single pillar might begin its life sturdy and close to the earth, carved by hands now dust. As the decades unfold and tastes evolve, it transforms, reaching into a slender, floating spire that seems to defy weight. The stone itself becomes a chronicle, a silent witness to the enduring human desire to create something that touches the divine. Now let your senses drift to the air itself. In the nave, the atmosphere is cool and damp, carrying the mineral scent of ancient limestone. But interwoven with this is the rich golden fragrance of beeswax candles and lingering incense, a scent embedded in the very pores of the architecture. This olfactory warmth wraps around you, grounding the immense, echoing spaces in a cozy human touch. It is a sensory bridge, connecting the soaring heights of spirit to the simple, sacred act of a lit candle. Finally, in the quietest corners, where light barely reaches, listen to the silence. It is not empty, but full of a soft, living resonance. The cathedral's acoustics are shaped to carry a single note for several long seconds. A gentle voice, or the hum of a choir, rises and then floats, lingering in the air like a feather refusing to fall. This sound envelops you, a soft blanket woven from reverberations, holding you in a tender embrace. It is the cathedral's own voice, a hum of peace that seems to come from the stones themselves, offering a moment of perfect, resonant calm. Let me whisper to you about the soul of a cathedral's light. The concept of lux nova, the new light, was a spiritual philosophy, a dream to transform a heavy stone space into a celestial realm. Architects took down thick walls and set in their place vast curtains of shimmering stained glass. And then, soft, filtered light began to pour through, gentle and slow, drifting down the nave like a warm-colored mist. It was a light you could almost feel on your skin, a quiet symbol of the divine presence, a reminder that the sacred is always near, breathing in the still, glowing air around you. It was a light that never shouts, only breathes. Every hue was a prayer made visible, a tender whisper from the heavens. Now feel the strength that makes such lightness possible. The flying buttress is a revolutionary grace of stone, a series of slender arches that lean against the high walls from outside. They look fragile, like stone ribs breathing, but they channel the immense weight of the roof downward, deep into the earth. This allows the walls to rise to breathtaking heights, impossibly tall and thin, and inside, the sanctuary becomes a place of airy stillness, where the ceiling seems to float on a silent sigh. These external arms hold the sacred space in a tender, unwavering embrace, and the weight of the world falls away, leaving only a deep, silent peace. You can almost hear their silent song. Imagine walking alongside the cathedral, feeling the cool shadow of these stone arms, as if they are exhaling a quiet strength that keeps everything aloft. Let your eyes follow the shape that lifts the spirit. Gothic architects turned from the heavy, rounded Romanesque arch to the pointed arch, a form that seems to reach for the heavens like a quiet prayer. This graceful line guides the viewer's gaze upward in a slow, floating motion, away from the cold stone floor. With each pointed curve, the walls could rise higher, and the mind could follow, escaping into the quiet expanses above. You feel yourself being drawn into a deep, calm vastness, a soft pull toward a sky that is always still and waiting, wrapping you in a blanket of silent blue and gold. The arch is a bridge between your heart and the infinite, a gentle invitation to let go of the ground and rest in the soft, open stillness above. Look up now and see the delicate ceiling above you. Ribbed vaulting acts like a stone web, a lacy network of intersecting ribs that distributes weight with a clever, hidden grace. They make the heavy roof feel light, like a frozen canopy of lace suspended high in the dim, sacred air. This rhythmic geometric pattern is a silent hymn, each rib a gentle note holding the vast space in a tender embrace. It creates a protective stillness, a geometry of peace that keeps the chaos out and lets you rest here, sheltered beneath its quiet, stone-knit shelter where only the softest echoes live. It is a starless sky carved from stone, a permanent night that cradles the light and holds you in a soothing, silent darkness. At the far end, the day speaks through color. The rose window, a perfect, circular eye of stained glass, is a masterpiece of symmetry and vibrant light. As the sun drifts slowly across the sky, it casts rotating patterns onto the cold stone floor. Warm reds, deep blues, and soft golds move like a silent kaleidoscope, a slow dance of light that breathes along the nave. This wheel of light is a meditative center, a still point in the turning world. It speaks without words, reminding you that beauty can be vast and deeply quiet. The colors shift, but everything around you remains perfectly, tenderly still. Close your eyes now, and let this quiet wheel of light turn gently within your dreams, turning all the day's colors into the softest, deepest rest. The ambulatory curves softly around the altar, a gentle path of shadow and light, where your footsteps are barely a whisper on the cool, smooth stone. As you drift through this vast, still space, the curve wraps you in a warm cocoon of peace, guiding you without hurry to small shrines that glow with low, flickering candlelight. Each pause is a deep, quiet breath, a moment to feel the soft reflections seep into your bones, like a slow, warm river flowing through the heart of the cathedral. The air is thick with stillness, and the only sound is the distant echo of your own heartbeat, soft and rhythmic. High above, carved stone figures stand guard in the vast silence, their forms both fierce and serene. These gargoyles and grotesques channel gentle streams of rainwater away from the soft limestone walls, a quiet dance of protection that feels deep in their still gazes. The rain flows like a soft, steady breath, never harsh, always calm, keeping the ancient walls dry and sound, a dual role of spiritual guard and practical purpose woven into the very bones of the cathedral. The delicate tracery of stone supports the glowing glass like frozen smoke, evolving from simple plates into flowing flame-like curves known as flamboyant Gothic. These intricate carvings mimic the soft movements of drifting candlelight, or the gentle rise of incense in the still air, a silent dance of light and shadow. Imagine each curve as a whisper of craftsmanship, fragile yet enduring, holding up the vast windows that paint the space in warm, colored light, a soft, endless story told in stone. It is the quiet poetry of light captured in an eternal moment. Gothic cathedrals rose slowly, over many decades, breathing in the passing of time. The stone changed hue with each century, a quiet palette of deep grays and soft ambers, as different generations of craftsmen left their mark on the enduring walls. This slow evolution means the cathedral is never frozen in a single moment, but alive with the whispers of its builders, a warm, deep presence that holds you in the now, a tapestry woven from countless hands. The vast stone vaults embrace sound in a lingering, warm echo that softens every note. When a choir sings or a bell tolls, the sound waves float and drift through the air, wrapping you in a blanket of peaceful, resonant harmony. Close your eyes and feel the deep vibration in your chest. The way the echoes blend into a single, soothing hum, a natural symphony where every whisper is cradled and carried, a soft tide of sound that washes over you, gentle and deep. Let it carry you into stillness, into sleep. The flying buttress, a quiet revolution in stone, where the immense weight of the heavy roof drifts outward and downward through those elegant slender arches, allowing the walls to become thin and airy, a soft skeletal frame that breathes lightness into the sacred space. This delicate engineering creates a deep, peaceful stillness within, as the vast glass walls catch the light, transforming it into warm, gentle hues that wash over the congregation in a silent, soothing balm. It is a marvel of balance, holding the cathedral in a vast, still embrace, a sanctuary of calm where the soul can drift into a soft, deep rest. The rose window, a celestial wheel of light, blooms high in the wall with intricate petals and stars, a delicate lace of stone that captures the morning sun and filters it into soft hues of ruby and sapphire, a gentle kaleidoscope of calm. This circular masterpiece casts a warm, colorful glow across the quiet stone floors, a silent dance of light that soothes the spirit and paints the air with sacred stillness. It is a whispered promise of heaven, spinning slowly with the sun, deep and soft, a tender light for weary eyes.
The pointed arch, a signature of Gothic grace, reaches upward in a slow, drifting motion, allowing the ceilings to soar into breathtaking heights while maintaining a weightless, airy lightness that feels like a soft exhale toward the heavens. Unlike the rounded arches of earlier times, these slender peaks draw the eye upward in a gentle, floating ascent where the stone seems to dissolve into light and the soul feels lifted in a vast, still silence. It is a quiet invitation to the divine, a structural prayer that holds the space in a deep, warm embrace, like arms reaching for the stars.
Labyrinths, carefully inlaid into the stone floors, offer a winding path for the pilgrim's slow-paced journey, a meditative walk where each step follows the curving lines in a silent, rhythmic dance of reflection. In Chartres Cathedral, this ancient puzzle lies embedded in the cool stone, a path that twists and turns but always leads to the center, a quiet metaphor for the soul's return to peace. Wandering these winding lines feels like a deep, still dream, a soft pilgrimage inward where the world fades and only the gentle sound of breath remains. The rib vault, a delicate skeletal frame of stone, supports the ceiling with intersecting lines of grace, a web of light and shadow that seems to float above the congregation, holding the vast space in a soft, geometric embrace. This innovation allowed the spaces between the ribs to be filled with lighter materials, making the ceiling feel as though it were suspended in mid-air, a heavenly veil of stone that breathes a deep, peaceful stillness. It is a silent architecture of dreams, where the weight of the world drifts away and the soul finds rest in the warm, vast expanse of this sacred canopy. And the gargoyles and grotesques, high up on the walls, serve a dual purpose. They are decorative spouts, gently guiding the rain away from the sanctuary stone. Their whimsical, frozen expressions watch over the cathedrals in a quiet, eternal vigil through the centuries. Feel the soft touch of the stone, warm from the day, now cooling in the night. The water trickles, a soft whisper in the vast stillness. These silent guardians keep a deep and unwavering watch, protecting the sacred space with a gentle, protective hush. A soft, steady rhythm of water on stone, a lullaby for the sleeping world. Their eyes, deep-set and still, have seen the ages pass, a quiet witness to the eons. The delicate art of tracery involves carving stone into thin, lace-like patterns. These intricate webs of stone hold the glass in place, transforming heavy rock into something light and airy. Like frozen embroidery, it feels soft to the eye, a delicate dance of shadow and light. The stone becomes a vast, still web, holding the warmth of the colored glass. It is a gentle whisper of craft, a soft and serene beauty that lifts the soul. Run your fingers over the cool stone, feel the fine lines, like a delicate web. It is a vast silence held in rock, a soft and gentle whisper of art.
In the dim warmth of the nave, the scent of beeswax candles and aged incense often lingers. These sensory details combine with the cool touch of the limestone. They create a sanctuary of profound stillness and peace. Breathe in the soft, sweet fragrance, feel the cool stone under your fingers. It is a deep and vast quiet, a warm embrace for the weary soul. The air is thick with centuries of prayer, a soft and still serenity. The warmth of the candles, the incense's soft trail, they weave a tapestry of peace. It is a deep and quiet comfort, a gentle hand on the heart. Here, in the dim light, you can find a soft and still sanctuary.
The triforium is a slender, elevated gallery that wraps around the interior of the cathedral. It is like a quiet ribbon of stone, providing a soft transition between the grounded arcade below and the luminous clerestory windows high above. See it as a delicate band running through the walls. It is a gentle mediator between earth and light, a deep and still space. The soft shadow of the triforium, the warm glow from above, create a serene harmony. It cradles the space, a soft, elevated path. The eye follows its gentle curve, finding a deep and still satisfaction, a quiet whisper of structure in the vast stone forest. The vast proportions of these cathedrals were designed to create a hush of acoustic wonder. Here, a single whispered note can drift and linger. The high arched ceilings capture sound and let it float slowly. It envelops the listener in a blanket of serenity. Feel the sound as a soft cloud moving through the vast space. The deep stillness is punctuated by a gentle echo, a warm and embracing quiet. Close your eyes and let the soft acoustics carry you to peace. The cathedral is a vast instrument, playing a soft melody of echoes. Each note is a warm caress, a deep and still vibration. Let it carry you into a gentle slumber, a quiet drift on the air. The flying buttress, a silent rebellion in engineering, arches outward from the sacred walls, shifting the roof's burden so thin spires can climb, a weightless dance of stone reaching for the clouds. Stained glass windows become Bibles for the poor, their soft glowing colors whispering stories in the light, as deep blues and warm reds transform harsh sun into a peaceful haze that washes over the stone floors. The pointed arch, that gentle upward curve of Gothic genius, lifts the soul higher than old Romanesque rounds, eye and spirit ascending together in a flowing motion toward the heavens. Ribbed vaulting, a delicate skeleton of stone, weaves intersecting lines into a rhythmic web, supporting the ceiling's weight so that heavy rock feels like light, floating lace adrift on a silent breeze. The labyrinth embedded in the cathedral floor, like a chartreuse, becomes a meditative journey for pilgrims, who drift along winding paths toward a quiet, centered peace within the stone's embrace. The rose window is a vast circle of stone and light, a flower unfolding in geometry, its glass scattering kaleidoscopic whispers across the silent nave as the sun journeys overhead. Gargoyles rest quietly on the cathedral's edge, not as fierce watchers but as quiet guides, directing rainwater from the delicate limestone in a soft, continuous stream of gentle protection. The nave stretches long and silent, a corridor of infinite space where stone pillars rise like ancient trees into a dim, soft mist, inviting quiet contemplation with every step. Centuries of craftsmanship are etched into the stone, subtle signatures left by hands that shaped the warm rock, their quiet whispers lingering in every block of the cathedral's walls. Gothic acoustics cradle the air, where a single choir note floats and lingers, turning the cathedral into a vast stone instrument that wraps listeners in a warm blanket of harmony. And so, our journey through stone and light comes to a gentle close. Your mind has wandered through ancient arches and quiet naves. Now, let those images soften and fade. If these architectural wonders have lulled you toward rest, a tender like would be a quiet gift. And if you subscribe, I will always be here, waiting to guide you into sleep whenever you need. Good night, and may you dream of stone and light, of silent naves and soaring spires. There will always be more beauty to explore, whenever you are ready. Rest now, everything is exactly as it should be.